prejudge an individual based on how they look. You have the presuppositions that we kind of naturally carry as a filter to even preserve ourselves to so we won't be on sensory overload, understand our surroundings. But then there's also paralysis. If people are different from us, if we can't figure out a certain demographic, we become paralyzed. Then we'll just let them walk on by and we won't even do anything. And so there's that component, but then there's also the generational, the technology, togetherness, and trajectory. And so you have the technology that is woven into the fabric. Like I said, the Lord must have other plans because my Mac won't load. Like years ago, it was like you would have had handouts and stuff. I was just like, that's not even a reality for my generation for the most part. Technology is woven into the fabric of our makeup. Like the majority of my generation doesn't fill out tithing envelopes. We give online. If you ain't got no online option, we ain't gonna give. But the other aspect of our component of our generation is that we will give to a cause without embracing the entity that espouses that cause. So if we're trying to fit millennials into a programmatic way of doing ministry, a programmatic way of doing church, they can say, I'm down for the cause that you're marching for, but I'm not down with the name of the brand and the entity on the door. So please don't assume that I'm going to pick up everything that is in your fabric of DNA when I have one expertise field that I'm focused on right now in the world of social activism. And so we think, oh, well, if they gave, $20 to feeding the poor, oh, now they're on the membership roll. No, that's not necessarily true. This is a cause dear to them. They don't care about you. You're the one that they're leveraging to get that engagement and touch point with that cause that's near and dear to their heart. And so when we look at that, Paul actually dissolved that disconnection with the saints in Thessalonica, and he set a model for us. He said, being affectionately desirous of you. Now that phrase, affectionate desirous, in the Greek, it was used in two extreme ways. One, by parents who just lost their child. This is the word they would put on the tombstone of their child. You have departed from us and we want you back. We want you with us and we miss you. But then it's also the component of a mother with a newborn baby. When there's a moment of separation, the baby longs for the mother and the mother longs for the baby. So it's that tension of the emotional depth of grief with the emotional depth of joy in being reunited. And so it's the point that we have to ask ourselves when it comes to the next generation that we're supposed to engage with the minority, specifically the minority millennials, like, are we desirous of them when we're not around them? Or are we just tolerating them when we're around them? And so we really have to ask God to search our heart, because that phrase is written in the present tense, which means it's ongoing in its middle voice, which means our desires dictating our drive, and we're actually receiving benefits from the internal desire we have. So it's this cyclical reality. But the only way we get that is if we ask God, fill my heart with a desire for that generation, or for this ethnic people group, or for somebody who comes from a narrative that is not like mine. They come from the straight hood. Help me, Lord God, to push through the ambiguity, push through the awkwardness, because I have a desire to walk in relationship and fellowship with such a person. So we dissolve that disconnection by asking God to give us that affectionate desire.